Hey, what's going on, party people? Nice to be here. We're back at it. Definitely, if this is your first time, welcome. What we do here, we break bread. We share knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Still sharp and still. So let's do it. So it's definitely a pleasure having you in. If this is your first time. Oh, by the way, I forgot to say, happy belated Mother's Day. If there's anybody I missed, happy Mother's Day. I apologize, but I had such a wonderful weekend too. Like, shit, like I got the opportunity to meet a lot of beautiful people. And then my boys came down, you know what I'm saying? I had my niggas from PA, my niggas from NY, you know what I'm saying? But most importantly, it's like we were all able to sit down and share our knowledge, our growth, and it was just beautiful, beautiful to see. But anyway, it was such a great time. But anyway, fast forward. This is your first time here. Welcome. Definitely a pleasure having you in. What I do here, I talk about spirituality. And essentially, spirituality, it's your life, and I'll get more into that as I'm going to be talking about the subject that I'm going to be talking about. So if you read the title, so I'm going to be talking about the psychology of European spirituality. I guess it's just something to talk about. I don't. Well, I mean, I guess the whole motivation behind it, the reason why I was inspired to speak about that because I feel like, that understanding needs to be said, and it needs to be said so that way to help you to get outside of the box, pretty much, right? That's why we're giving sights to the blind. Okay, but anyway, if you're coming back, you already know exactly what you're in for. Smoke your shit. You know what I'm saying? Drink your shit. You guys, we're gonna be in for one, right? Mm-hmm. I want two right now. I'm on some bullshit, but let me stop. Let me stop. So, when we talk about the psychology of European spirituality, so technically, what I'm going to be talking about is the seed, their foundation. Because when we talk about the psychology, but we're saying how they think, their perspective on pretty much life, or oh, I like how this Asian. Oh man, or I'm I'm also going to be talking about their God, because your God is also your perspective. Different cultures have different definition of God, and meaning they also have different perspective, because no matter how objective we may try to be, it's still going to be subjective because it's coming from you, it's coming from your understanding. So it's obvious we all could say, you know what, when we look around us, there's a supreme being, that created us, so we're being objective here. Yes. However, that statement just came out of my mouth based on my ways of seeing things. That's why you can't dissociate spirituality from your life, and that's why spirituality is your life. But most importantly, and I talked about that in one of my previous videos, how your God determine your behavior. So by us talking about the foundation of European spirituality, let's try to discover what that is. I'm taking you in for a trip, all right? So let's discover what that shit is, right? So, but it's hard for you to talk about European spirituality without mentioning Christianity, because that is their foundation. That was the core of all of their movement. Spreading the words, taking over other territories and all that shit. You know what I'm saying? That was a slick one just to wake you up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But that's not even what I'm going to be talking about here. So we're looking at the psychology of it. And obviously, by me sneaking that in you, taking over territories, slavery and all that shit, for you to understand, okay, that, what I'm saying? Okay. For you to be like, okay, meaning you could see what's happening here. But I'm going to get into it, so I don't want to get ahead of myself. So, so we got to talk about Christianity. Okay, so that's step one. Now the second part is when we talk about a religion, just like we were talking about God, so therefore mythology, and that's why mythology is very profound, and we are all living our lives on some mythology, whether you believe it or not. But anyway, that's why we are the myth. But let's just say, okay, of course, maybe I was a little too harsh by calling the story of creation a mythology. However, I would say this to my defense, and all of you should know that too, right? So many different cultures have had other stories about, the story of creation, not necessarily Adam and Eve. It was a little bit different. So by acknowledging that, I'm just trying to say, let's stay outside of the box and analyze this objectively, but also subjectively as well. There's no way out of it. So you want your in other words, what you're trying to do is you want your subjectivity to be objective. Anyway, I'm gonna let that fly. Anyway, I'm just getting way ahead of myself here. So we got to talk about the story of creation because that is also the foundation of that religion. But most importantly, Christianity, which is, will develop into European spirituality. But most importantly, this is all their spirituality. And by spirituality, some may argue they don't have a spirituality, but it doesn't matter. What we're talking about here is their perspective of it, their God, because we all have our gods. You know, like in Christianity, a lot of people are concerned with heaven and hell. In other cultures, they're not concerned about that shit. Do you know why? Because their story of creation is different. So already I'm trying to make the connection between mythology, most importantly, the connection between the story of creation and how impactful it is in your life. We're going to get into that. And even if you were to say, okay, you know what, I don't believe in God, but you know the story of creation, Adam and Eve, that way. And that's probably the only story of creation that you know. That's probably the only one that you know too. So even though you may not believe in God, but that structure is already in you, the foundation is in you. Because the whole creation is the seed. So the creation's the story of creation is also the beginning of your understanding as a human being. God damn it, niggas. Y'all got I'm on three right now. Shit keeps going up. Shit it keeps going up. But what that was a little heavy though. That was a little heavy. All right. So let's chop it up. We're gonna keep it light. We're keeping it light. You know what I'm saying? But from time to time, it's snuck out. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Don't be too harsh on me. Don't judge me, motherfucker. Fuck with me. So we're saying, and let's analyze the story, what took place. A lot of you guys already know about it, so we're just gonna talk about some key shit. I'm not gonna tell you in the beginning. Oh my God, was created, and then God blew his. Nah, nigga. Let's start in the Garden of Eden. We're gonna fast forward all that shit. You know what I'm saying? Let's just get to the nitty gritty here, right? Technically, oh, this is very important. But I'm going to be talking about what I feel like is very important to talk about. Like there was the tree of life, that was in that paradise. And then also they have the tree of good and evil. Now, the tree of good and evil, I believe, was from that tree that Adam was not allowed to eat. And that's when God told him not to do it, and he disobeyed, technically. Or in religious term, you could say he sinned. Do you see what I'm saying? So let's get down, let's break that down, right? Oh, so first, the serpent. You know, in our culture, in that European spirituality, serpent is being looked at as bad. That's Satan, you know, but in other cultures, and oh shit, the Indian call it Kundalini. It's pretty much at the base of your spine. It's that energy that goes up and down. They call it that. In medicine, you also have the caduceus. It's that staff with those two snakes, or serpent that goes around it. Do you see what I'm saying? So I'm saying this to say a lot of us, we looked at the snake, and every time we talk about snake, it's not like, we know deep inside of us you got to stay away from it. When you call somebody's a snake, you're also referring to that story of creation subconsciously, but you don't even know. I got you. So your interpretation of snake is already bad. And it's what we have too in our culture, but most importantly, it's also being revealed in our speech. Because when you speak, the mystery of a speech, it's a mental representation. You're really talking about who you are. Now, the way you're expressing that, we're doing that through words right now. And that's what speech is, isn't it? And that's why that shit is powerful too. It's anyway. Let me slow down. I want so much shit. I'm on four. It keeps going up, baby. So already I'm trying to make the connection. Now you already know how women is being looked at. You know what I'm saying? I don't think I need to get into that one because that's a hot topic. You know what I'm saying? She's what the seduction, and we all know you don't want to be seduced, right? Generally, when you're being seduced, it's for something you're not supposed to do. Do you see what I'm saying? So that story, to be honest, is one-sided, and I'm gonna show you how. But anyway, seduction, and of course, women or Eve, is the cause of Adam's failure. So meaning now, she had to be reprimanded. There's a certain statute. Eve's been is being looked at a certain way. I don't know if I should even try to sugarcoat this shit, but you already know. You know what I'm saying? That's why women are second class. You know what I'm saying? Fuck them bitches. You hear me? But all of that is related. I'm just making the connection here. All right. I ain't saying shit. It's coming out of my mouth, but that that's it. It's nothing that I'm saying. But anyway, so women are being looked at a certain way, right? Fast forward, you know what I'm saying? Because Adam, now, he disobeyed. He was seduced. So this is also saying, men, if you want to win, you don't want to fail. You cannot be seduced by a woman. There's some truth to that. I'll take that. I'll take that. I'll take that. I'll take that. Okay. Take that. Take that. Take that. Well, depending on how you're looking at it, though. Depending on how you're looking at it, right? Because there are, our other uh half, the yin and the yang. But anyway, depending on how you're looking at it, but I'm like, I can't relate. I see what they're saying here. But what I'm saying all of this to say, too, you could see that type of mentality in our culture. You know what I'm saying? Women are being looked at as seduction. You know what I'm saying? You can't trust them too much. You know what I'm saying? Or even though you can't really trust them too much. But I'm only saying this because this is the box that we are in. Do you see what I'm saying? And that's what makes different cultures different cultures. Like me as a Haitian nigga, you know what I'm saying? Like I had to adjust. And that's what the culture shock comes in. So for me to actually relate and understand what's taking place and being able to actually express myself to it, because at first it was just a lot of shock, like, oh wow, wow, wow. That's how y'all, you know what I'm saying? And now, like I always talk about this, right? When you talk about, especially in this culture, in our culture, when a young man is trying to get after like a young female, you know what I'm saying? It's the battle between the sexes. Do you see what I'm saying? It's like it's all game. It's like, it's more like you can't really be honest. You know what I'm saying? It's really, I don't know if it's seduction, but it's that kind of shit going on. It's a lot of war. When I started to understand the culture, I'm like, what? It's the battle between the sexes. Even when you look at when you have different like uh, shows that's talking about relationship, their definition of going after a young lady or vice versa to build a relationship, it's all games. It's all it's just setups. It's all setups. It's a power play. How do you call that? I don't know, but it's totally different because I came from a culture. That's why most Haitian niggas are in touch with their femininity. Do you see what I'm saying? It's not so much of those setups. It was more like talking. Because I remember, like, what I'm saying, me and my other guys now, what I'm saying, we got to learn what to say. This is how we're going to get her. We got to say this to her, we got to say that to her. And she was expecting, for you to talk to her too. Taking all that shit in, smiling, what I'm saying, laughing, or, what I'm saying? But it was more like, you making that connection. You can't do that shit over here though, nigga. Like what? You know what I'm saying? Can you imagine even trying to write a note or a letter to a girl today, man? I mean, if you're texting the bitch, you good. You see what I'm saying? But let's just say. But anyway, I'm tripping. I'm walling. But I'm saying this to say, it's very important not just to understand your culture, but you got to go outside of your culture because it would allow you to have a better view of yourself, but most importantly, to expand your consciousness, right? Your awareness. Like I'm aware of what I'm talking about here. I could go back and forth, make the connection, see the differences in those two cultures. But if you only know about this culture, you fuck. I mean, you're not fucked, but you're gonna think what you know is the whole world. Well, it's not. American culture is not even the same. Well, Canada is right next to us right now. You know, what I'm saying? It's a whole different world. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, I'm saying this to say, it's very important not just to understand your culture, but also to expand your awareness. Like I'm aware of what I'm talking about here. I could go back and forth, make the connection, see the differences in those two cultures. But if you only know about this culture, you know about this whole world. Well, it's not. But anyway, but I was also making the connection. Most importantly, let's get back to what we were talking about before, which is the story of creation and how impactful it is, right? But let me tell you guys about this, this, because the story is one sided. So you mean to tell me Adam couldn't say no to Eve? Why is Eve being blamed? Or why is even the serpent being blamed? First of all, the serpent didn't even lie. Secondly, okay, I understand, Eve, but how about you, Adam? Are you taking accountability? First of all, you guys might think I'm walling, but I'm trying to give you a different perspective because your mind been programmed to look at it from one perspective, and that's what mind control is. Mind control is not like, when people are telling you, or if I'm trying to get some money from you, and then you like, I think he's trying to get some money from me. No, mind control, you wouldn't even know I'm trying to get the money from you. Mind control, we all know. I'll give you a perfect example. We all got to pay taxes. You're conditioned to accept it, not to even complain about it either. That's mind control. You're being fucked, you know it, but yeah, hey, there you go. Up the ass. Go ahead. So mind control has to do with the way you are being conditioning, the way you are conditioning yourself. That's what the mind control is. And everything that is being put into this society is fashioned to design you. And that's why you have mind control over you. It's not you were living in a society where you are not being well in this European mentality, right? Whereas I mean you're not what's the word that I'm it's not encouraged for you to seek who you are, but instead it's built for you to act a certain way. And we talked about that, that's what the false self is all about. Then when you jump into aligning yourself with your true self, it's going to be different. But anyway, let's go back because there's so much shit to talk about and so much different avenues shit that we could talk about. But let's stay right back on course here. Uh-huh. So I was just saying this, not to, not to be wild or anything. Even though I feel like I'm on four now, five. I'm on five now, right? I'm on five. All right, shit. Then when I'm gonna be on six, I'm gonna do this. But anyway, like the story doesn't even allow you to elaborate on it. Some of you may even be hearing me talking about the story or, trying to expand your mind to look at it in a different course. Like, oh, is this motherfucker crazy? It's Satan. That is mind control as fuck. But anyway, because we've been taught to look at it just the one way. So we all repeating it, living by it, but we don't even know. And, well, let's wild out for a second. Adam didn't have a dick. Oh, he did have a dick, but he didn't know he didn't have a dick, right? And well, like, and I would have, and that was the same for Eve. So how the fuck would this nigga like? It ain't like the pussy seduced him because he didn't even know there was a pussy. But that shit is those are valid points. What the fuck? How was he seduced? Okay, you see what I'm saying? But anyway, maybe I'm being a little bit of a pervert right now, but hey, I'm just saying. Everything counts. You know what I'm saying? Everything counts. But anyway, fine. He disobeyed. And here's what else happened. After they both ate the fruit, then now they realized that they were naked. So they both ran and try to hide their private part, their genitals, their dicks and pussy, right? Already, so you know that bottom part we do not talk about, do we? In this society, do we talk about the bottom part? Oh, we have different names for it. Of course, you're not gonna tell your son this is a dick. Oh my God, this is lulut. Motherfucker got lulut, shoot, and all that shit. All kinds of shoot. You know what I'm saying? Again, because your genitals, your sexuality is shamed. Because by them trying to cover themselves, they were ashamed of themselves. And that is a reflection of us in this culture. Or any European based mentality country. That's gonna be your mentality. So that bottom part is has to be suppressed. Now we have to come up with other nicer name to talk about the same shit. Y'all wildin'. I thought I shit. I'm not even on nothing at this point. That shit's so stupid. Oops. Uh, hey, it is what it is. But anyway, so now the generals are being looked down upon because Adam was ashamed, and we know we don't talk about certain topics. We definitely not going to talk about dicks or pussy. It's always a shocker in this country or every European base. Meanwhile, in Africa, everybody's embracing their sex. Everybody, what I'm saying, you have women walking around with their titties out, and there's no rape going on either. You know what I'm saying? Niggas with their big ass dick, niggas chilling. You know what I'm saying? I said niggas got their third leg, and you know what I'm saying, chilling and shit. Niggas are walking around naked. Their creation, their story of creation is not the same. We have ma'at. We know we appreciate our body. There's nothing wrong with our motherfucking dick or pussy. Or for anybody to be afraid of even saying that for that matter. And it's part of us. What the fuck? Your eyes are good, your dick or not. I don't get it. But anyway, it all stems from, the story of creation. But most importantly, what the story of creation is really truly showing you is the foundation of your behavior right here, right now. I don't give a fuck if you believe in God or not. You know that story. And that was your foundation as a kid. Then later on in life, okay, you choose your life, but you haven't really done your shadow work. Because for me, when I started, that was my understanding of the story of creation. And as I expanded my mind, the interpretation of that same story have a different meaning for me. Then my life, I had a different behavior. My behavior is different. And as you're gonna grow, like now, I got a third definition of that same story, and that's where I'm at with it. But anyway, so now you can see the shame, meaning now your sexual desires, all of that comes from down here. And let's be honest too. The thing about dick and pussy, these motherfuckers got a mind on their own. I don't give a fuck if you're men or you're women. We all know that shit. I know for me, because I went to an all Catholic school, what I'm saying? That's how nigga, back in Haiti and shit. We used to have, it's all niggas, right? So there was this teacher, oh my gosh, she got the ass. Every nigga. I'm saying that class would get their dick hard. Like, especially now she's calling you out. You got to go to the board and do what? You're like, damn, man, chill. Same thing. Ow, for you too, ladies. You know what I'm saying? When that pussy get wet, let's just say you see. Okay, because y'all like your 6 foot tall niggas, right? Dark and chocolate. You know what I'm saying? With all that muscle. You know what I'm saying? Nothing for light skinned niggas. Shit. Nothing for me at all, but it's all good. We're not hating. So, you know what I'm saying? With your Tyrese ass motherfucker, right? Muscular and all that, right? And then your pussy like, meow. Ow, you know it. You know what I'm saying? So much so, you know what I'm saying? You go like this, like what the fuck? You wouldn't let the motherfucker know. I'm just saying in so many words. But anyway, that I don't even know what the fuck was I talking about. I'm wilding. But anyway, so oh, this is where I'm going with it. So they know that your generals have a mind on their own. Now you have to be in control of it. There's no you and your dick coming together. You know what I'm saying? You and your pussy. No. You gotta suppress it. You know what I'm saying? You gotta put it to shame. That's where it belongs. So now you have a society that is based on on that creation mythology or understanding, which is also the psychology of their spirituality, which is also the way that they look at life. And if you want to take it a step further, which is also the definition of their God, of who they are, or what the European spirituality is all about, the psychology of it. So now, and just, I'm just showing you, how, we are ashamed of our body and shit like that. All of that comes from there. You see what I'm saying? I was okay. I'm gonna leave, I'm gonna leave that one alone. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, all right, I'm gonna leave that one alone. But you know how African niggas, I couldn't leave it alone. Like, there's a saying, I don't know, like, I've seen this movie with Monique, right? You know how she was fat, you know what I'm saying? The brothers over here, like, yo, you know what I'm saying? Come on, girl, you gotta eat your salad. You know what I'm saying? But them African niggas, you know what I'm saying? The bigger they are. All I'm saying is this. You see what I'm saying? Like your interpretation of or your perspective, you know what I'm saying? Don't make America the world. Because, there's. And yes, it is a big universe, people. It's huge. That's why in order for you to expand yourself, you got to go beyond Christianity. You got to learn different things and expand. You got to feed your mind. You got to water your garden. There's no way out of it, man. But anyway, so now we can understand why the genitals are being talked down on and why sexual desires are being repressed. And then now you're going to take it a step further now. Now, the body is also your enemy. That's where they talk about the whole ego stuff with your true self. Well, I'm talking about from their perspective. So now your ego is your enemy. So there's a constant duality, good and bad, going on. Fight, dark and light, no harmony. And that's what makes it unbalanced. But anyway, let's keep talking about it. But it's important for me to, highlight those points, right? The good and bad, that society that we're living in. Is it good? Is it bad? Dominican Republic? Which Republican? Which one are you, dog? You know what I'm saying? But anyway, that duality. You know what I'm saying? And us niggas, we're different. I was watching. What was it? I can. Was it The Road to Glory? No, it was. I think was it. It was that basketball movie. Yo, that shit was deep, man. 'Cause that shit was talking about so many different things. You know what I'm saying? Because our God is Ma'at, which is harmony. And harmony meaning good and bad goes hand in hand. That's how we are able to embrace everything. And like I tell people, to be optimistic doesn't mean you're fucking negating the fucking negativity. No. If you're doing that, you are imbalanced. Like, how can you just walk around like every day? Nah, man. Some days you gotta get mad. Fuck that shit. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, it's all good. Being optimistic means you have an optimistic perspective on things or outcome of things. Because what blesses you, what hurts you also blesses you. Now that's my art. When you understand that, that's how you turn the other cheek. But anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. You know what I'm saying? You can tell I love this. And I love it, man. Come on. The actual reward, it's in it itself. And that's how God loves God, enjoys God. Oh, it's unbelievable. It's unfucking believable. But anyway, let's get back to it, right? So your genitals are being down. Then now it's it's gonna be your body, because you also got to understand too. And here's something else: Christianity, guys. Let's be honest. Is the youngest religion ever. But anyway, how some people say the Bible is has all the answers. But it came from other book too, and other books are talking about similar stories. But anyway, age of information. Y'all got to get into that one, because as the great Professor Small says, if you understand the history, it will get rid of the mystery. Now he said it way better than that. I don't know. I'm just extracting what I'm sorry. What the fuck? What he meant by it, but the way he said it though will just what I'm saying, will just hit you a certain way. And that's the power of slang too. What you call slang is also a way of expressing certain things. It's not about what you say, it's how you say it. It could be impactful, it could be all of that. So that is slang, that is figure of speech. Us niggas, we speak with powers. Especially, listen, man. Yeah, I've been on my Haitian shit, man. Like, I'm fucking. Anyway, that's a whole different story for a whole different time. Because certain things I wasn't, what I'm saying, aware of. But you know what you know. And you can only know it when it's time for you to know it too. Let's proceed. Let's work. So, so far, guys, I'm showing you how the story of creation is pretty much your culture. It's telling you about you, but it's revealing you the psychology of your behavior. In other words, the understanding of why you act the way you act, or we act. Well, keep in mind, my whole definition of that creation story is different. But I'm just trying to use the very first, basic understanding that I had, and many of that was given to us. Not even that I had, it was just the mind fuck, what I'm saying, shit that was just pushed down on me. and I would just repeat the same things the way it was said, not questioning any of it. That's where the mind control comes in. I wouldn't even think about questioning that. Do you see what I'm saying? Like the biggest mind fucking control, it's if I were to give you this, what do you say? Thank you. Why do I have to say thank you? Well, I don't have to say thank you. But it's nice. It's acknowledgement. Okay, I could definitely get that. But anyway, I'm not making a case. I'm not making an argument here. All I'm saying is I'm trying to show you what mind control is, truly is. And there's a gentleman, I believe his book, Mind Control 101 by J.K. Ellis, I think his name is. But anyway, yeah, this motherfucker's good. Badass, badass, badasses. You know what I'm saying? Because I only fuck with badasses. You feel me? Top shelf, man. We're keeping it all the way on top. Hmm. So we can't do the petty, man. If anything has a price on it, it's too cheap. I don't want it. I want only shit that doesn't have any prices, that doesn't have a price tag on it. Those are expensive ones. Oh, I am a luxurious motherfucker. A top notch nigga. You feel me? But anyway, you know what I'm saying? I was just talking my shit. Just saying. So now we have to get into the psychology of what's happening into that story too, right? Because technically that's what we're doing anyway. But I figured I would just point that out. So now we're ashamed of our body. God came in. I'm trying to remember what else happened. Called on Adam, whatever, whatever. But that's not relevant. The part that I want to talk about here now, then we have a culture that, the serpent is not looking as, something that's good. It's Satan. So you always at war. There's always a fight between God and Satan, hell and paradise. Do you see what I'm saying? Whereas when we talk about us niggas, if I'm going back to that movie, you know what I'm saying? When we say bad, we're also saying, yo, this is so good, it's bad. But we're not saying because we understand, by being so good, it gives you, it make, like you never seen, like, it's like a motherfucker making a face, but it's just, do you see what I'm saying? So in our speech, it reveals the way we look at life. That's what a language is. Like for me, when I'm in my Haitian mode, I'm a whole different person. I got to flip into my American side so I can relate to you. But when I be on that, so speaking another language too, it's technically you being a different person. But we all have split personalities here. Well, I guess if you don't speak another language, then you don't, because it's different perspective, it's different state of mind. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, and I even learned that from my mom too. When I'm like listening to her because she speak like broken English. I guess I do too. But I guess mine is way better than hers. But anyway, I'm saying this to say, right? But when I'm watching what she's doing is she's looking to translate her Haitian mind into the American mind. That's why they tell you kid would learn a language faster because they're not looking to translate. They're just learning. That's why if you're learning a different language, you have to learn how they say it, not the way you think they're saying it. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, I'll give you a perfect example. Like, cause I know that shit for a fact. when for some reason I'm like, yo, let me learn some Spanish and shit, because a nigga, I got French, I got this, I got that. I was looking at the market and all that shit. You know what I'm saying? You know, hey, that's different market that you could sources that you can actually tap to. But anyway, then I started learning about their culture. But in the mix of it, I'm like, why the fuck am I learning about those motherfuckers' culture? Whereas I just want to know how, I just want to learn the language. And then it dawned on me, I'm like, oh, what they're doing is, like, if you're gonna learn how to speak French, well, you're gonna learn how to eat cheese, different type of cheese. Learn about they drink vodka. I mean, they drink fucking wine. But the reason why you're doing that, let me give you some shit, is because they're trying to get you to get into their world. Now, as you get into their world, then you're gonna start speaking like them. So for me to relate to you, I gotta tap into my American side, or I gotta tap into that American side. Do you understand what I'm saying? And that's why when you learn about the culture, it's helping you to understand who those people are. Why they act this way. That's how they think. That's how they shit. That's how they move. That's how. Oh, okay. Then now I can really. I'm like, nigga, you already know. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I had to tap into it, and then when I came back, and I'm like, that's what this shit's about, nigga. You already know. Man, I'll be swagging out here. You feel me? How you like it, babe? But all of that is very important to understand. That's why speaking another language is becoming a different person. But most importantly, you're expanding your world. But anyway, let's get back to it, because this shit is all mental. That's why this is a spiritual life, because it's all based on your mentality. It's all mental. So now, when we talk about the highest level of consciousness, it's trying to get to you to raise your vibration, understanding with knowledge and vibration and power to the highest state of consciousness, because everybody's conscious, even the so-called dead people. No, they're not dead, or they're not fully dead. That's why when you think somebody's stupid, you could still learn from them. Now we're talking about degree of consciousness. That's what you have, or different stages, different whatever the fuck waves. So no one is truly stupid. Everyone is spiritual. But we're talking about it varies in levels of understanding. That's why we talk about the highest level of consciousness, becoming the Christ. Is to have that supreme understanding, that top shelf food, that true organic food. Because by Adam eating from that tree, that's why you're behaving that way. Eating the fruit. I'm sorry, the fruit that comes from the tree, is you eating that understanding. You shouldn't be eating certain things, baby. Like we have this saying in Haiti, man, as you're walking out the house, we're like, yo, make sure you don't put anything off the floor in your mouth, man. Listen, man, when I understand what Harlem niggas was, I'm like, come on, niggas. I fuck with y'all niggas. But y'all ain't got that flavor, though. Y'all cool. I see it. Y'all get your money. Y'all smooth. Y'all talk your Listen, man. Y'all got me on some bullshit, on some nigga shit. That's what I'm telling you, man. I'm nigga. Shit, I want my Haitian shit. I'm on 6 right now. Y'all crazy. Not putting anything off the floor, put it in your mouth, man. What you doing? You know what I'm saying? Handsome, beloved, what are you doing? You look too good for that. But all of that is also saying you have to be in control of your mind. Or most importantly, knowing who you are. Then you'll know, what to eat and what not to eat. By eating, I'm also referring to what you're processing, because that's what's going to fuel you. That's what's going to become your vessel. So by Adam eating that, meaning, well, again, I'm giving you a whole other definition of it, but eating a fruit is going inside of you. It's giving you fuel, it's giving you power. So that's what fuels your behavior. Because you need to have a cause and effect. Thus, when we talk about the psychology, is to understand, like that thing that's behind it. Who's pulling the strings here? We see you, motherfucker. You ain't no boogeyman. Not on this side. You feel me? You ain't scared of shit, nigga. You should know about Lick Ba, huh? The nigga, you know what I'm saying, with the fucking skull. We ain't scared of shit. We ain't scared of no boogeyman. What? Come on, man. Stop it. I'm not gonna eat that food. Mm-mm. You know better, you do better. Please don't eat it. Trying to show it to you so you could chew it out. But anyway, so that is the foundation of our culture. The story of creation. But most importantly, this is also revealing the mentality, which is the psychology of that spirituality, of the way of behaving as a spirit. Then now you got to have heaven and hell. So they actually took it up a notch, in their spirituality. Now they're saying, you know what, fuck, that's not truly what it is. Now it's fuck everything that is spiritual. I mean, physical. I'm sorry. Again, if you're looking at the connection, the genital, no. Ego, your body, no. You know what I'm saying? That constant fight, but most importantly, that opposition, no harmony. That's why they don't talk about ma'at, no balance. It's a fight. So, what do you have here, even in this culture? When it comes to, even, I started by talking about, a young man pursuing a lady. We have the battle between the sexes. Even in our African culture, you know what I'm saying? When a nigga love a bitch, you go see the priest. Is that bitch made for? Is she made? In other words, what you're doing is you're like, yo, my shoe size 13. Is this bitch 13 or she 12? We ain't got time to waste. So that's when the priest would like, let me look at your drawers. Okay, and then open your mouth. Okay, and then it'll do the same for that bitch, looking at the bone structure, because there is, if you guys are, anyway, I don't need to get too much into that, but I'm just showing you the difference approach, which is also obviously the African spirituality don't believe in heaven and hell. They don't even know if they look at Adam and Eve, for Adam and Eve, especially not just them, but us Haitian niggas too. We worship fucking Dumbala, which is the serpent. But anyway, there's a whole philosophy behind it, guys. I hope I didn't spook you for a second. And worshiping too, there's a whole different. It's not. Oh shit! I always gotta explain that shit to niggas. Do I? Can I get a pass on this one? Because it's just too much to get into. You know what I'm saying? It's already 55. Shit, I gotta eat. But anyway, different philosophy, different ways of looking at life, different set of behaviors. Like us niggas, we ground. They go. Check out the Jamaican niggas, man. That's what we do, African niggas. Whenever we dancing, we get, you know what I'm saying? We get physical. We're not ashamed of our body. Meaning, even though that's why they have the saying in Haiti, everybody, like they're saying 90% of the population is Catholic, but 100% of them is fucking voodoo. Voodoo, we're talking about a perspective of life. That's all it is. And all niggas are like that. And this is crazy, regardless of niggas from here, from the United States, from island niggas. We all have, I mean, we different, but we have one thing in common. We all know, like, I'll give you a perfect example, right? When you hear, and I'm just going to use music as an example. If you're hearing 50 Cent, and then you listen to Juvenile, back that thing up, or whatever the fuck, you're gonna notice the difference in the music. But both of these niggas are niggas. Do you understand what I'm saying? That's why you motherfuckers, like, when you go to a Jamaica and shit, you could be like, okay, these niggas are niggas. They have a different vibe. That's why we're all different, even in us niggas. But the one thing that we have, it's nigga shit. And don't even get me started on some Haitian shit. We niggas as fuck. You know what I'm saying? The way you know what I'm saying? Like my man Tupac was saying, that's what niggas do. We smoke our shit. That's what niggas do. We dance. That's what niggas do. We do all kinds of shit. Yo, this nigga was some bullshit. He was he was on two. He was on two. You know what I'm saying? So genetically, we are all connected. Do you understand what I'm saying? That is why every European language that was ever passed down to African niggas, we changed the language. Because speaking a language, if you're following everything I've been saying here, is a state of mind, it's a perspective. So when niggas speak slangs, that's why I tell niggas, yo, speak your slang, motherfucker. That's your power. It's reflecting your reality. That's why we speak in slangs. That's why when we're saying good is bad and all that shit. All niggas do that shit. Jamaican niggas had those motherfucking London English shit. They turned that shit into black English. Niggas over here turn that shit into fucking Ebonics. Haitian niggas, they give us French. We turn that shit into Creole, nigga. How do you want it? That's genetically we see life a certain way. It's in our genes. That's why no matter how much you love white people, like when you see some nigga shit, nigga, you know. You may not want to dance too much because you gotta behave a certain way. I get you. But that shit was mean. The vibration, there's a certain way you vibrate. How the fuck do you think them fucking Haitian niggas got their fucking independence, man? Niggas was some whole different vibe. and I'm connecting to it. You hear me? But anyway, I digress. I digress. Again, it all goes back to the perspective. So when we talk about psychology of the European spirituality, we're talking about their way of living, their way of thinking, their God, meaning their behavior as well. So you can't dissociate God from you. You might as well want to create your own God then. And that's what we did. That's why this shit is in our genes. That's what we did. The code is written in us. That's all you're gonna get from me though. So you can definitely see. Then now the higher understanding of their spirituality now comes back to this is what I was talking about. Now you have the fuck earth. You gotta live earth. You gotta escape this reality. Because overall, your dick is not good, your sexual desire is not good, your body's not good, your ego's not good. Why the fuck would you want to be here? Let's get the fuck out of here. That's it. Well, that's their mentality. But African spirituality is not that. No, not at all. No, sir. We got my art over here. It's balance, it's harmony. We dance with our ego. Our ego is not our enemy. By dancing with our ego, we know how to be in control of our ego. Being in control of your ego, it's not trying to look, it's not trying to control your ego. That's where the fights comes in. But it's by aligning yourself with your true self. And then your ego would be balanced automatically. Your ego is very flexible. What they're calling ego is really their conditioning. Greed is praised in our culture. Being arrogant is praised. Well, not so much, obviously, due to that. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't be like God. So if you think you're all that, so due to that, no. But greed is being praised. You know what? I'll give you one better. I don't know if you guys recall, the whole extentacion, Sean, extentacion, whatever his name was. He got killed, whatever the fuck. Let me just make a long story short. The motherfucker who did that, and a lot of niggas too, they were being cut by being on Facebook, right? We're gonna keep it even shorter. Now you may say to yourself, why would a motherfucker committed a crime and then flossing about it or even talking about it in their raps? You may think that is stupid. I mean, by all means, it is stupid, but there's something subtle about that. Stupidity is obvious, right? But they're not that stupid even to commit the crime and do everything that they did. They technically snitch on themselves, but they're not stupid. Well, they are, but they're not. We're talking in levels here, right? Because this is what we do too in African spirituality. We acknowledge that's where the balance comes in. For me to have a balance, which is really by me being subjective, but to be really objective, You got to see both sides of the coin. That's why African spirituality is based on motherfucking polarity. Oh, y'all got me on some bullshit today. It's based on polarity. Polarity is telling you good and bad. It's like a different side of the same coin. There's heads and tails. Just like bad experiences, have you not learned from bad experiences living in this life? Yes, you have. That's why when you pray, you don't ask for a lighter burden. Nah, you pray for strength, man. If you know what you know, that's how you dance with your shadow. You embrace life. You don't say, get the fuck out of here. You don't escape it. That's what pussy do. The mentality of earth is bad. We should get, you know what I'm saying, get the fuck out of here. That's a pussy mentality. Deal with the issue. African deal with issues. These niggas live with fucking lions, man. An elephant. Didn't create no fucking big wall. The Great Wall. I'm saying that you Mexican people would have to pay for. They live with those fucking with the wildest fucking animals, and they know how to control them. Now that's wisdom. That's balance. That's ma'at. That's a reflection of you understanding who you are. Come on now. You already know. Understand that ma'at. It's that's why taking accountability is. We're not trying looking to escape. So their philosophy is to escape this reality. You know, the whole, paradise and the whole paradise with hell and this life, of course it's not hell, but that's not where you want to be. So it's almost like you hear, but you hear because you're there. I mean, because you want to go there. So meaning your experience is down here. That's why you're not in the world. Now you have to segregate yourself, not behaving a certain way. Because if you behave a certain way, then you'll be part of that world. And if you are a part of that world, you will not have access to the other world, which is escaping this reality. Because everything that is not the physical is good. Everything that is not this reality is good. And that's the mystery of the psychology of their psychology or of their spirituality. That's how they're looking at it. Whereas in African spirituality, we understand that there's a recycling going on here. At the end of the game, that's why even the Tibetan, the in Buddhism, they even say it themselves, Namaste. They always say, which is the God in me, acknowledging the God in you, but they say that to people who are not spiritually uh, inclined as they are, because they are making an acknowledgement, even though you don't know who you are, but I still acknowledge the God that is in you, and I'm saluting that God. Now in Haitian, like in our Haitian shit, we have something where we go like "on respect," wherever we go, honor and respect. By we saying that, we are acknowledging the higher side of that person, even though, you know what I'm saying, we may not be in good terms, but that would be how we would salute you, because honor and respect, acknowledging that higher side of you. That's what this is. So when we talk about slangs, perspective, understanding the creation, I mean the story or the history or the story of creation, it has an impact on you. It impacts your life right here, right now, as it is. But anyway, I'm gonna leave it there. I mean, there's so much more to talk about, but in a nutshell, I wanted to just show you, not just talk about their psychology, but most importantly, how the psychology is the foundation of your behavior. And because you're thinking that way now, the way you're behaving with other people, your understanding about relationship, or your understanding about, conducting business, getting a job, is affecting all of that in you. And that's why knowledge is represented as a tree, because when you look at a tree, there are so many different aspects of the tree. You have the roots, you have the branches, you have the fruit, and all of that. That's why we worship trees, not worshiping in a sense of, no, worshiping in the sense that we understand the connection between us and the tree, but most importantly, with life. So it is being seen as God, because nature, we embrace nature. Not the physical aspect of it. We acknowledge the physical aspect. That's when the balance comes in. But the spirit that is behind nature, that's where the balance is all about. And the whole ma'at spirituality is based on. And that is the tree of life, meaning the knowledge of that opens your mind up, the cosmic knowledge that open up your world. And that's African spirituality for you. So that's what makes you cosmic. So by you aligning yourself with your true self, you're aligning yourself with the universe. And that's why we say we are God in essence. Do you see what I'm saying? A drop from the ocean is the ocean. Well, not the ocean, but it is the ocean. And I'm going to leave it at that. In essence. And that's who we are. So when you have that type of understanding, your approach and behavior to life becomes different. That's why I don't judge people. That's why your profession doesn't matter to me. I mean, I don't give a fuck. Like, it doesn't matter to me. Your title doesn't matter to me. Tell me how much you change, how much you evolve, and I'll tell you how educated you are. But the education, we talk about a degree, a piece of paper, but there's no transformation in you. What type of education is that? What kind of, I mean, because the purpose of education, you're supposed to be better than other people, right? Well, are you better because you have a piece of paper, or are you better because you have transformed, truly transformed? That's what I'm telling you. Like, tell me how much you changed, and I'll tell you how educated you are. How do you want it? But anyway, I'm gonna leave it at that. It was definitely a pleasure. Hope you guys enjoyed it. You already know. I sent my leg.